And yet, after your shot, pretend your feet appear like this. Then you must correct your stance and hold the correct pose for a second longer before you continue training. And by the way, when you're training, I don't care whether the shot goes in or not. Lots of shots can go in based on sheer luck. Some players that I've trained finish their shot improperly with their shooting hand off to the side. But because their shot went in, they wouldn't correct their form. They're thinking, the ball went in, I must have shot it correctly. No, it's probably luck. Even the worst shooters occasionally hit a few. Instead, think like this. The ball will consistently go in if I consistently control the fly of the ball. I consistently control the fly of the ball by shooting the ball with consistent shot form. I minimize problems by developing the shot form with the least room for error. Therefore, I must be consistent with my corrections until my shot form is a perfect and consistent habit. You might be wondering, what happens if I don't correct myself after my shot? Well, the longer you practice bad habits, the harder it will be for you to unlearn those bad habits and teach your body the correct form. If you're going to be exceptional, then you have to be ruthless with your body, and you have to be ruthless with your mind. You must be determined to do the details. And by the way, this isn't theory. Let me give you a couple of real working examples. A few years ago, the most athletic underclassman on my team finished his shot with both arms down and to the side. He actually finished with his shot looking at the goal over his arms. Great athlete, but not the kind of shot we wanted. And needless to say, when he missed, which was a lot, it was usually short or to the left of the goal. So every day in shooting practice, after each shot, he was required to lift his hands back to where they were supposed to be. No one was allowed to give him a return pass until he made this simple correction after each shot. Now fast forward 3 years. As a senior, he became our leading three-point shooter. At that point, it seemed that if he could simply catch the rim between his wrists, if only for a split second, the result was a made shot. Another example began a few years ago when I agreed to train a 12-year-old young lady. She wasn't yet strong enough to shoot accurately beyond 10 feet. Her only chance for accuracy and distance was to recruit the power from her legs. But at the time, it was rare for her feet to be squarely under her shoulders before shooting. Because of this, she had no way to harness the power consistently from her base. This also created a twisting motion in her body during her shot, resulting in her feet landing anywhere except pointing to the goal. So, using the principle from this chapter, and regardless of what drill I was putting her through, she was forced to correct her feet after her shot. The fact is, after a while, anyone's body will catch on to the message and straighten up. Now, fast forward 5 years. This young lady, at age 17, hits the mark with her feet every single time. There's not a trick I can play on her that will mess up her feet. Regardless of the game action, her feet always begin and finish under her shoulders. This results in greater balance, consistent recruitment of power from her legs, and more control over the fly of the ball. 3 state championships later, I think she believes in correcting her form after her shot. To conclude, the point I'm making with these examples is the best kept secret to changing bad shooting habits is making the correction after the shot. It's a proven fact that corrections after the shot will affect and change the habits of your future shots. Have the patience and discipline to continue correcting yourself, and I promise you the results you want will come.
Secret number 3, the best kept secret to mental training.
There are no clips or graphics for this teaching point because the habit exists only in the playground of your mind. So that's where we have to go to change it. There's a little voice going on in the back of everyone's mind. For some, it sounds like this. I hope this shot goes in. Should I put this one up? I've never been a good shooter. I'll never be a good shooter. This shot development stuff won't work for me. Why should I keep trying? I'm just not a good shooter. Now compare that little voice with this one. This next shot is going in. I'm a great shooter. I take and make great shots. That one didn't go in, but I know what I did wrong and I'm correcting it on the next shot. I'm getting better with each shot. I'm a good shooter. Hey, I'm a great shooter. The next shot is going in. So which one of these inner voices will give you the best chance to be a great shooter? Proverbs says, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. In the case of becoming a great shooter, this proverb is absolutely true. You might say, well, Coach, you want me to be cocky. No, I want you to build confidence. There's a difference between cocky and confident. Cocky thinks more of itself than it can produce. Confidence is the assurance that comes from successful repetition. And successful thoughts always precede successful shooting. You might ask, don't you ever have negative thoughts or doubts about yourself? Well, of course I do. We all have them. But think of those doubts as birds looking for a place to land. You might not be able to stop them from flying over your head, but you can prevent them from landing and building a nest. So, when doubts come, let them pass on through and set your mind on getting better and how good it will feel when you reach your goal. The bottom line is that you must change the recording of your inner voice. Be ruthless with your mind. Be its master and think nothing but swish.